We got breaking news out of HQ with Toronto and Jose Berrios agreeing to an extension with the Blue Jays here. The team reporting a 7-year deal worth $131 million. Berrios, if you remember, acquired from the Twins last July in exchange for some prospects. And his 12 starts up north for the Blue Jays down the stretch of the season went 5-4 with an ERA of 3.58 and 78 strikeouts there. Toronto keeping him in the picture for years to come. Went 12-9 last season. I mentioned those starts there for Toronto, making them a contender last season. Hopefully, he brings that back, the righty, for next season and for the next 7 years there with the Blue Jays. For more on this, our MLB insider Jim Bowden joining us here, and your reaction to this breaking news: 7 years, $131 million, Jim.
Brandon, this is something the Blue Jays have been working on since they acquired Jose Berrios at the trade deadline from the Minnesota Twins. When they made the trade, they had the goal of keeping him a Blue Jay throughout his career. And they finally were able to culminate the deal here over the last couple of days, giving in on the 7-year demand by Berrios. A long-term contract really for a young pitcher, but he's only 27 years old, so the contract takes him to age 34, and that fits in the prime years algorithm that clubs like to look at. You know, this is a kid with a mid-90s fastball. He's got an incredible curveball. His changeup keeps getting better. 3 quality pitches, had a 42% ground ball rate last year, so he can miss bats, he can get the ground balls, carries himself with composure, competitiveness, and poise, and really has a chance to be a top of the rotation type starter or number 2 type starter for years to come. So I'm a little surprised at the length, but I think when you look at the dollars at $131 million, and there's incentives that can make it a little bit higher than that, probably 135, 136 area when it's all looked at and done. But the dollars are pretty reasonable based on what we saw Eduardo Rodriguez get as a free agent from the Tigers, and the length, of course, the club okay pushing all the chips in.
You see the importance there, you mentioned it, of locking him in for that long term, because on the flip side, their offense has been doing pretty good. We saw the emergence of Vlad Guerrero Jr. this year, also Bo Bichette. How important is it to kind of keep that young core, as you mentioned? He's only 27 together for the long haul here.
Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays have built a team that's going to be a perennial contender here over the next at least 3 to 5 years because of the players you're talking about, led by Guerrero, Bichette. You also have George Springer. I mean, this is a really good, deep team, but pitching is how you win. And when you're in a division with the Rays, who have 14 pitchers that can throw 100 miles an hour with breaking balls, you can't get enough pitching. Now, the Blue Jays are on the cusp of losing Robbie Ray, who is going to win the Cy Young Award. That was one of their best signings last offseason. I was told a few minutes ago that they are continuing to try to re-sign Ray as well. But if in case they're not able to, they wanted to make sure they got Berrios signed. So very important that they spend as much time on the pitching staff as they have on the position players.
If you're talking about this and we're looking at this, of course, Robbie Ray, you mentioned it, possible Cy Young coming his way. Likely of him getting a deal with now Berrios cashing in a bit here.
Well, a lot of teams are after Robbie Ray. That's the problem that Mark Shapiro and the Blue Jays have. Anyone out there looking for pitching is going to focus on him because Robbie Ray did something in 2021 he's never done before. He figured out his delivery and his release point. And once he figured out a consistent release point and fixed his mechanics, the control and command came to such a point that it led the league in WHIP, which is an incredible accomplishment. But because of that, teams are absolutely lining up for his services. So who knows where that deal ends up finishing. Blue Jays would like to have him, no doubt, but they're in the trade market as well for pitching. They've had conversations with the Cincinnati Reds, Miami Marlins, and Oakland Athletics for all the young starting pitchers that those 3 teams have. So the Blue Jays are looking under every single rock, and Jose Berrios is just the beginning of this Blue Jays offseason.
Yeah, you mentioned they're the big piece of the offseason. 7 years, $131 million there, staying up in Toronto. Jim Bowden there with the breaking news, with them keeping that rotation intact. Taking a look at it, of course, Jim just mentioned it. When you're in a division with the Rays and Red Sox and even the Yankees, you got to have some guys on the mound. The Blue Jays answering that bell today with Berrios. 7 years, $131 million to keep him in that rotation for years to come with that young team. Not too bad. You see it, 91 wins a season to go, looking to up that in the future.